Second take, week 3, baby. We're here. I want to just introduce our 2022 Wildcard champion, Ryan Downs. How are you, sir?
I was better in 2022. I can say that.
Uh, when you lose your first 3 picks in a 14-man, the odds are extremely against you. And we've gotten rid of the coveted IR spot this year.
Yeah, I think it was a great move by Nate to want to make this as much of a 1995 league as possible. I think maybe touchdowns only. Should we touchdowns only next year? Let's do that.
Get rid of the kicker.
Yeah, like I said in the chat, we'll get rid of decimal scoring. We can wait till Tuesday morning to get the final scores.
Oh my gosh. So if you had to make a bold prediction right now, IRs are probably coming back next year.
I don't know. I feel the people who voted no will just dig deep and will just dig their heels in deep and be like, no, it's actually, it's hard. Listen, some people it's like some people want to play blackjack where there's strategy and obviously there's luck. If the dealer gets 21 every time, you're going to lose no matter what. But they like the strategy. Some people just want to play slots, no strategy. So the people who voted no IR just like to play slots, and it's fine.
I think this hurt Piani probably the most before your injuries because he's the type of guy who will grab an injured player and stash him.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of him, I think I should share my screen because there was a trade.
I don't want to talk about it. You guys talk. I'm done with fantasy. I'm just gonna read while you talk about what's going on.
Oh my gosh!
Blasphemy said that's the best Batman movie.
No, okay, great thought. We're here on the trade, but before we get to that, Mike said that was the best Batman. I did not say that, and I want you to know. If you know me, Batman is my favorite super comic hero. Favorite of all time. Since I was a young boy, I've always been about Batman. Even the terrible, one-liner Batman Forever and Batman. I loved all of it. But in my opinion, The Dark Knight is the best Batman film ever created and probably will be in my lifetime. But who knows? That's my opinion. Where do you stand?
Yeah, I mean, I have the Dark Knight one. If we're just doing live action, if we're throwing animate in there, I think Under the Red Hood's in consideration. But what Mask of Fantasia? That's really good. Yeah, I would much rather talk about Batman than what my fantasy team's doing on. But the Batman didn't like it. I didn't like it.
No, I liked Paul Dano as the Riddler. Thought he was good.
Entire third act, which is 50 minutes, terrible.
Yeah, the scene where they get him in the diner, I was cool with that. But you're right, the adrenaline shot in his leg.
The movie's so much better if it ends at the diner.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. But anyways, a trade you had to make, Ryan. A trade you had to make. Some of us a little shocked, thought we'd get more back, but there's such an unknown.
Okay, let me address that.
Yeah.
People who say I should have gotten more back, are you the same people who are offering me Devin Singletary? Are you the same people who are offering me Christian Kirk? Are you the same people who are freaking offering me Alexander Madison?
Yeah.
JSN's worth more than all of those guys.
I completely agree. And we know your love for the Seattle Seahawks. You believe in these players, these youthful guys. JSN had a big game last week, and I think he's gonna overtake Tyler Lockett and be the wide receiver 2 there. I completely agree with you.
Yeah, I think JSN at least has top 20 upside. He has functional body parts and ligaments, from my understanding, which is a huge upside for me. And listen, I'm not sure about you, Tyler, but if I lie at my job, I'd probably get fired. So I don't know why Kyle Shanahan still has a job.
At least major fines.
A draft pick, something. But there's a chance McCaffrey doesn't play.
Yes, very much so. Not till the postseason.
Yeah, or like doesn't play till week 13.
Yeah.
You know, like we're fantasy wise, we're like starting playoffs.
Yep.
And listen, if I was Piani, I'd do this trade 10 times out of 10. He didn't lose any of his starters, so he can afford to just have McCaffrey on his bench. I don't have that luxury, unfortunately. So
Understandable. I mean, we're going to get into it. We'll look at the rest of your roster. You lost Cooper Kupp, Deebo Samuel. I mean, it's your first 3 picks.
But yeah, everyone who says I should have gotten more, feel free to offer me a better trade next time.
I didn't even send you a trade for McCaffrey. I was brutally honest. I said I'm 0-2. Spoiler alert.
Yeah, you did the whole you did the like would you trade for Kirk? Nah, I didn't think so. I'm out of here.
I didn't want to send it to you. I was like, you don't want it. But
yeah, you're like, just on the 5% chance that he'll think about it, like I'll send the text, but yeah, it wasn't a full trade offer.
Like, let me see. But speaking of Kirk, I did get to move him. Not listed here. It's 30% of my FAAB. I sent $30 of FAAB to Mike with Christian Kirk for Khalil Shakir.
And we'll get to it, but
yeah,
Mike no longer has that FAAB.
No, what a psych out by Piani. We'll get to it. But yeah, this was a move that happened last night. I made a couple moves. Made a move in the only dynasty as well.
Is this because are you just like out on Jacksonville because of how they've looked the first 2 weeks?
I just think Brian Thomas Jr. is just a better option for them. I thought Kirk would be the 10 to 12. I wanted a guy, Ryan. I say this on draft day. I just want a guy as a possession receiver who's going to maybe put up at least 7 to 12 points a week, and I can count on them for consistency. And this guy has not even got like. Can we say it? Trevor Lawrence is bad. Mike was telling me yesterday he thinks Trevor Lawrence is awful. Where are you at?
He hasn't played good. I'd give him some time just because I think that offense has shown flashes. Like, I've been saying, like, oh, Brian Thomas Jr.'s looked good. Well, part of that's Trevor Lawrence throwing him the ball. You know, like I think the upside that everyone thought was there for Trevor Lawrence when he was originally drafted, I think that's gone. Yeah. But can he still be a starting quarterback in the NFL? You know, the way can he still make it to the level like that Kirk Cousins was for many years? Yeah, I still think that's
that's still there for you. It's just, will he be a superstar elite?
Probably. Yeah, I think that's probably off the table.
But who knows? Who knows?
Well,
let's go ahead and jump over out of this segment into the power rankings. All right, we're back with the power rankings, reflecting an accurate. Ryan, I didn't want to put you too low because you do have a dub, but just with the recent,
I should be 2-0.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I didn't want to throw you in the bottom 4 and disrespect you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I kind of wanted to have you there, but you know, on the left side, we've had many jumpers here. Mikey jumped up dramatically. Xavier jumped up dramatically. Mikey's saying on the group me, you know, shocked he's 2-0. He says I never started 2-0 in this league. You know, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. I'm still gonna make the playoffs. I'm still gonna be good. I will, but another thing, I'm not sure if I haven't told you this, that when the McCaffrey news broke, I was at a work conference. So my phone's on D&D. You know, it's when I finally looked down, whatever it was, like right 20 minutes before game time, maybe, I see the news. So like I'm talking to someone while under the table trying to make a move. So I just pick up the first person available, which is Guerrera.
Yep.
And throw him in. It's just, if I thought about it, if I had time to think about it, I would have picked up Juszczyk instead. So I lost by 3. It's fine.
It's gross. To not get a touch is like ridiculous, in my opinion. Like that's
especially when the game was out of hand. Like the last drive was nothing. Like why are you?
Let's run Mason. We're weak at running back right now. We lost our lead. I don't know what Shanahan's doing. I agree with you. I mean, this man, it's blasphemy what he's doing. But I think it was 28 carries or something like that. It was like over 30 touches.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I mean, you and me have as many Super Bowls as he does. So.
Otherwise, you know, the bottom 4 here, No, Rob, Dave is reeling. He sent me a beautiful offer, and if it was week 1, I might have looked at it. Ray Davis for Bucky Irving. Now, I am the James Cook owner. He's the Rachaad White owner. It would make sense to make that move. But the way I'm looking at it is that Bucky Irving is a more efficient runner than Rachaad White. And I think eventually, if not this week, because of the groin injury to Rachaad White, a 50-50 share and possibly overseeds him. I don't know. But I was like, I'm going to hold, but I think it was a respectable offer from Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you're saying is basically the only way Buffalo's running game's changing is if Cook gets hurt, where there's a chance Irving just, even without injury, could become the starter. I wouldn't worry about Dave's put up a bunch of points still the first 2 weeks. It's just bad luck. He does this every year. He'll be fine. I'd probably have him higher in the rankings.
Losing to Matt off the kick, the Moody kick week 1, that was nuts. Kickers are back though, right? Kickers are so back.
It's a lot of points. Kickers are back and tight ends are dead.
And I just want to say it for the record. I took Aubrey in the 11th round and it was correct. Number one kicker. Sign me up. But all right, let's go ahead and get out of here. Let's recap last week. All right, we're back recapping last week. We'll make this quick. I know we don't need to dwell on it, but I'm going to cry for a little bit. Losing such a close matchup here. I had Big Mike texting me, Ryan, Monday, talking about, this was before halftime, Bijan. He's like, you got a shot. You really got a shot. And I was like, no, I don't. This game was over before it started. I know Bijan's going to put up, I think he needed 12. 11 maybe, I don't remember, but you would think after Thursday, James Cook putting up 3 touchdowns for my team, I thought I was going to win this hands down.
Yeah, it's always rough to have such a big Thursday performance, and then just, Nico went off.
Yes,
and I guess that's about it. Oh, obviously, we're a kicker league now, so
Taylor just didn't get the ball at the end of the game, which I thought was kind of shocking for the Colts against Green Bay. And I just want to talk about that one as well, that Green Bay game. I don't understand. Malik's not going to throw the ball 20 times.
Yeah.
Why don't we stack the box? I was watching that game live. I couldn't believe the defense that the Colts were throwing at them. I was shocked and appalled.
There's 29 franchises in the NFL that would lose a game starting Malik Willis. But there's just one franchise that has a horseshoe so far up their ass that they're able to get by on these things. They're gonna go like 2-3 without Love and be fine. And
I thought we really had I was like, look, yes, the Bears should not be better than Green Bay this year by all accounts. We have a rookie quarterback, I get it, and then we not look fantastic. But
if they're starting Malik Willis, we should be.
That's how I felt. I was like, oh, we get a little jump here. And then Minnesota beating San Francisco, oh my gosh. You love it because you want we want to see Shanahan fail, but anyways, what a tough out.
Yeah, Godwin looks like he's back. Devontae Adams, that's probably his best game of the season.
Garbage time too. To win it.
Well, is it garbage time if they win?
I was so angry. Man. Fuming on Sunday. It was a rough Sunday for me. It really was.
Was it? I feel bad for you, man.
Yeah. No, I know. You were the worst of Sundays. I'm 0-2 though. It's rough. I thought my team was good. Anyways, this was our game of the week. Me and Tony both took Tony, and it was incorrect. Matt is on fire.
Yeah. Kamara's the best pick of the draft so far.
Easily.
Yeah, that's
Shaheed right behind him.
Yeah, Shaheed. Who knows?
That might be even better.
The Saints. Nobody saw it coming. Anyone who says they saw it coming is lying. But yeah, Matt, he has strong running backs. Even with London disappointing so far, he's just been able to overcome it.
Yeah. Can we give him some advice? Danger, I don't think we need to start both Tajay and Pollard. I think Pollard's the guy.
Go to his bench. Let's see. Well, A.J. Brown was out. So, what? Yeah, probably should have
I get it.
Probably should have went Warren instead. But, Warren had a terrible week 1, so maybe.
Yeah.
But you know what? When Kamara's scoring over 40, it doesn't matter. So.
It really is irrelevant. And on the left side, Tony said, stay away from Allen in terms of gambling with the hand injury. It was on his, not his throwing hand, but the news with we didn't even touch on Tua. Should we touch on that? I mean, it's right here with Tyreek Hill. Obviously, I'm not calling for him to retire, but boy, when your health is, I think there's an insurance policy where both players, the player and the team get out on that. It's rough. Like if you're a Tyreek Hill owner, you're a Jalen Waddle owner, you're terrified.
Yeah, I mean, Skylar Townsend's not the answer. I mean, you still have to play Tyreek. He can obviously just take a quick pass to the house at any point.
Yeah.
But I'd be worried about Waddle a lot more, and there would probably be situations where I would actually bench Waddle. But I think, I think this pretty much knocks the Dolphins out of playoff consideration, at least for me. And at that point, they put Tua on IR, so he has to miss at least 4 weeks. If they're like, 2-5 at that point, do you even come back? Maybe you just try to give your head as much recovery time, and then just go into next offseason.
I think that's probably the best bet. I mean, you don't want to hear that. I mean, Daniels doesn't want to say that, but it's probably the truth. And you got older running backs, so the roster's it's a major change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the offense is going to struggle without him, I think, though. I mean, as much as I didn't like the contract for Tua or that, they were just kind of in a position where it's like, well, if we don't have him, what do we do? And now, unfortunately, they're seeing that in reality.
Absolutely. But shout out to Matt. 2-0. Matt, I got him 1. I think I had him 1 in the power rankings. I really a big fan of his team. I said on the draft recap, very deep, took a lot of sleepers, and they paid off. And Brown might be out another week for him. I'm pretty sure. I have him in another league. I think he's not playing.
Yeah, I believe that's correct. So Matt, I mean, he's a great co-owner as well.
You guys are killing it. Nice. Team looks very deep. Great draft. Can't wait to get that content rolling too. I know I've talked about it. That's getting in the works. So if you ever want to be featured there, let me know.
Oh, I'd much rather talk about that too.
Piani was our second highest scorer. Kind of shocking, these scores this week. He absolutely destroyed Dave. Even though Dave puts up a modest 103, which would have beat some teams, a lot of teams actually. 30 points out of Marvin Harris. I mean, that I couldn't have been more wrong. I put $25 on the Rams. You know how FanDuel will give you that 100% boost?
Yeah.
I was looking through all the teams, and I hit last week or 2 weeks ago with Pittsburgh. I hit. But then they bumped it up to you can max 25. The max I only had before was 5. And I was like, I'm putting it all on the Rams. This is a toss-up. And, boy, if you would have seen the first 10 minutes of that game, I'm in shock. I'm just in shock.
I used mine on the Jets, so there was a large portion of the game where that looked like that wasn't. But that just got to like even money. They were favored. But yeah, I mean that first quarter with Kyler and Harrison, like at that point, I mean it's game, set, and match for Piani.
Yeah. Like there's no stopping it. I mean, it was insane what that guy's capable of. And Piani jokingly was like, thanks to everybody who rejected my trades. I don't know how many. Did you receive a Marvin Harrison trade? Because I didn't.
I didn't receive him. I sure would have liked to have received a Marvin Harrison trade offer. I received some Isaiah Likely offers.
Yeah, I bet he was trying to move Likely so fast. Talk about a guy value that plummets.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I did the trade with Chris. Great guy. Nothing but the best for him.
Yeah. And there's your player, JSN, down there with 24.7. Big game.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. And then on the other side.
Yep.
I don't even. Yeah, I mean, Madison's been great. I'm so pissed I didn't get. He was my next. He drafted 1 pick before me. Took Pearsall. But how are we feeling about Diggs?
I think he's going to be. I mean, he's not. I don't think he's going to return that draft value. What did he take him in? We don't have it on top of our heads, but I remember it was a middle. It was a middle, right? Fifth.
Fifth sounds right.
Fifth, sixth, I think he did. He had a great week 1. I just think it's going to be all those players are going to have to work it out. Like, I'm a little worried about Nico. I think Nico's been eating a lot, but I imagine there's going to be some game scripts. But the Diggs is the guy in the slot. Diggs is the guy getting the intermediate work. So I think he's always going to put up 7 or more every week. So I think he's got flex appeal.
Yeah, I mean, I think Nico's going to be fine most weeks because I think we saw even in the Bears game, there was a concerted effort to get Nico away from Jalen Johnson. So that tells me they're scheming for Nico. They look at him as the one. And then there's going to be Dell games and there's going to be Dig games, but I think they'll both be inconsistent.
Which is fine for Dave. Yeah, I think Dave's going to be all right. He's got James Williams down there. He's going to be fine.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a flex player is. It's someone who could go off.
I imagine, we'll see, but I imagine Waddle's on the bench this week. We'll see. Mikey, like we talked about top of the episode, 2-0, took down Joe the 3-time. Look at that running back. And I talked about this. in the draft recap. This is one of the most explosive running back rooms in the league, and we're seeing it right here.
Yeah. I mean, to go from A-Chain might not play to 30 points is pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean that's where you want it. You run it at running back, and
I'm a little worried about Daniels with the rushing. A little worried.
I mean, I think he'll be fine for fantasy. I'm worried in terms of real life quarterbacking, but I think he'll be fine for fantasy. I didn't realize DK had that good of a game on the other side.
Oh, I missed that too. He must have had a bomb in that New England game. I didn't really. That one wasn't on the red zone too much.
Yeah, now that you mention it, yeah, he did have a bomb.
I think he had a big bomb.
There's too many games on.
That was so stupid, so dumb. I was like, I can't keep up. Like, spread this out. It's right this week. Did you see we had 2 Monday night games?
Yeah, I hate it.
Hate it. It's stupid. And they're like an hour start difference. I'm like, well, then start the other one at 3 or 4.
Well, yeah. That's what I don't get. Like, if you want to do 2 Monday night games, and this is how it used to be. It was always week 1. Like, the first game started at 6, and then it would be like it was always the Chargers.
Yeah.
The Chargers. It'd be a West Coast team that would, it'd be like 7 local time or whatever. It would start at 9 p.m.
It's kind of like the NBA, like the Golden State Warriors. Always, I get it, but God, I hate it.
I don't like the 2 Monday games at the same time.
It's dumb.
Granted, it's because I'm a 2 TV guy. I have Monday Night Raw on my 1 TV. I have Monday Night Football on my other. I don't have a 3rd TV, guys. What are we doing, NFL?
I love it. I got some Monday Night Raw questions for you.
Oh.
I can't wait. Let's finish this out, though. Xavier destroyed Mike. What a big outing on his side. J.K. Dobbins has been a revelation.
I was completely out on Dobbins, and I guess I was wrong. I just, I think Deontay Foreman's like the only dude who's ever come back from that injury. It's like, okay, we're in Deontay Foreman territory. But yeah, he's been great for him. Barkley's been good. Rashee Rice, I know I think everyone at draft was like, oh, I'm gonna Rashee Rice ADP is the 9th round. Well, I'm gonna take him in the 7th round, and then Xavier took him in the 5th. So none of us had a shot at him. Yeah.
Xavier's the same guy always grabs a quarterback first, and he didn't do that this year. You're right about Dobbins. I had him. I screamed when he took him. I took some other bum running back before him. I'm totally blanking on, but knocking on wood. If I'm Xavier, and I mean, it's probably bad to say this to the league right now, but I'm trying to sell high. I'm selling so high right now.
I would too. Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I was out.
If he said Dobbins straight for McCaffrey, what would you say? Yes?
No, I would have said
See,
no.
Okay, you're too smart. I feel like the average McCaffrey owner would have been like, no, I know the future. It's like, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get him for 2 weeks, and then all right, I don't want to put expiration on it. But yeah, no, absolutely. I'm on Rob, back in a big way.
Yeah, that was big. Obviously, Pacheco going out, a killer for Mike. Who's his next running back up? I don't even know.
Oh, it's going to be Steele.
Oh yeah.
Well, we'll get into it. It's coming. But yeah, no.
Spoilers.
I imagine Purdy's starting the rest of the way for Big Mike too. I think Stafford's going to ride the bench for a while until we see it with these injuries.
Yeah, I mean with both Cup and
Buka, yeah.
Buka out, kind of have to.
Shout out Xavier though. And your dub.
Yep.
A win's a win, baby.
A win's a win. All
Special
96. Yeah, I mean, kickers are back, man.
Kickers
Dude.
are back.
I mean, obviously, we were both watching intently on Sunday night.
Yeah.
So every kick, no doubter.
Every kick.
Like, it's crazy.
Kickers have never been better in the league. Like, never. Like, when it's 50, 54, and I talked about this in Second Take, and I'll bring it up again. Like, with these new kickoff rules, most teams are just sending them to the 30. You only got to get 20, maybe 30 yards, and you're having automatic 3 points. You know?
Yeah.
It's to the point where it's like, should we look at lowering the scoring? Is this what the league is? We're prioritizing kickers. We got to take them in the 8th, 9th round.
Yeah, I don't.
You know?
Yeah, and I mean, I think quarterback play's been bad through 2 weeks. So as a result, there's been more field goals than touchdowns. I think it will even out as the season goes on. But obviously, Anthony Richardson had a terrible game.
So did Goff, even though he threw 50 times. It's nuts.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's just
no preseason, maybe.
I know. I've seen that theory that like that's why offenses are starting slow, but I don't know. I just feel that it's more of scheme. I feel this happens every 5 years or so. Like there's always
correction.
Offenses are way ahead of defenses. Scoring's never gonna end. There will be defenses dead, and then smart people come up with ways to, after having 4, 5, 6 years of Shanahan and McVay film, which everyone's copying on offense. It's like people come up with ideas, and right now everyone's playing cover. They're playing their safeties back. They're not giving up the big plays. And since teams have devalued running backs to everything, their counterpunch of running, it's just not as effective as, it had been in the past.
I love it. That's great analysis right there. You think when you'd get hired on to one of these organizations, I'm sure you could help anybody.
I know, with my track record, I just come in and lay out their team. So they probably want me to as far away as possible.
You'd be like Bill Belichick on these Monday Night Football.
Dude, so Belichick's on Monday or Sunday countdown on Monday Night Football and Saban's on like Saturday countdown for college. Listen, arguably both the best coaches of the. Yes. Who wants to listen to them talk?
No, it's like Belichick sitting there scrutinizing the Bears for their draft picks when it's like, man, can you name one you hit? like Tom Brady? Like name a player this guy like dominated you drafted how many first rounders that didn't work out?
Yeah, and they're not charismatic. I don't know. Like he's trying to be funny. He's not funny, and he's the and like he's made a career of like hating media, giving media nothing until they want to give them a paycheck. Now all of a sudden, maybe media's not so bad.
I get it.
I mean, get that paycheck, but I personally do not want to watch.
I hear you. We could use somebody else in there. But finishing it out, Nate taking down Mr. Primo here decisively without Tua, with the Tua injury.
Yeah, maybe Tua will be on Monday Night Countdown soon. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the big game from Neighbors. The
entire offense for the New York Football Giants.
Yes, he's everything. He's plan A, B, C, and D. I'm not sure how. So I think this is a good matchup. Andrews and Kelsey.
Yes. What's going on?
I was looking at this the other day just because I was curious as someone who owns Taysom Hill. I was just out of curiosity, like, who's happy with who they drafted at tight end? And the only names I could come up with was if you drafted Kittle and if you drafted Bowers.
Big Mike.
I think those are the only two names you're happy where you got them.
I think you're completely right. Correct. 100% correct. Big Mike was not trying to move off Bowers either. And I'm like, you're just a rookie tight end guy. Maybe it's just correct to take rookie tight ends.
Maybe.
Absolutely.
Always one.
All right. Let's get out of here and move over to the waiver wire. All right, we're back here for the waiver wire segment where a whopping $360 was spent in week 3. Was this over your number for week 3? I expect to go over 200. I did not expect anywhere near 360.
Well, in a way, there was $200 spent by 95% of the rating. So I think your estimate was right on.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't expect Big Mike to drop $121 on Carson Steele. I think he had to do this due to Piani having exactly $120 of FAAB. And what a juke by Piani, because he only bid $0. So he must have sniffed this out.
Yeah, I mean, what was the second? I looked.
17.
The second highest bid was $17.
I can tell you. I don't want to put disrespect on.
I thought it was like 40.
21. 32 to Tony.
Whew.
It hurts Big Mike, but if it's an RB1 this week, which he desperately needs, I think it's okay.
I get it. I was in the camp of I think him and P. Ryan are going to be splitting, so I'd rather be in a PPR league. I'd rather P. Ryan just because I think he's going to get the catching work.
You're relying on receptions versus the random touchdown that Steele might get.
Yeah, exactly. And then I was really thinking about, remember, it's probably like 3 years at this point. Remember how like the last 6 weeks of that one season, McKinnon was just on fire for the Chiefs? That was because he was getting all the pass catching work kind of stuff. And then like Clyde Edwards-Helaire was doing running back, but like he was doing a majority of the running, but he wasn't really a good fantasy play.
No,
so
like 5 years.
That's kind of where I stood on it. That's why I wanted P. Ryan. But listen, if there's Steele's a rookie. We obviously haven't seen him. There's a chance that maybe he's just great.
Yeah, maybe he breaks a couple big ones. I don't blame Big Mike on the purges. I mean, otherwise, you look at this list you don't see another running back here. Big money spent. So it's a 14-man. There's not that many out there.
Yep. Oh, I'm aware.
All right. Moving forward, I'll kind of go through these quick. Hunter Henry, $40 to Piani. That's a tight end 1 as of week 2. He always does well in the beginning. Danny, you could have got him for free, but he got him this week after seeing it again. Alec Pierce for $40. Mike Gesicki to Danny for $35 out of Cincinnati. Mike's guy, Quentin Johnston, who had a big game, $37 to the champ. He followed it up with Adam Thielen. Carolina, $11 to the champ with of course, the red rifle at quarterback. I can see that. Finishing this out, Ryan, before you go. Derek Carr from New Orleans, $23 to Xavier. This guy is QB1, has been dominating, like we said earlier in the episode. Who would have expected the Saints? And then Jalen Tolbert for Xavier, $7 out of Dallas. Spoiler, Big Mike dropped Brandon Cooks. I think you might want to go get Brandon Cooks. Just throwing that out there. But anyways, anything jump out at you here?
I bid 18 on Gesicki. I think he's, it's one of those like, do I really believe it? Probably not. But like, he's probably a better option than more. So I think that's a good one. Carr, I think is going to be serviceable. I think that's the solid one. And Tolbert, $7. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd probably say the rest were probably overpays in my opinion. But I always end the year with like $90 of FAAB. So what do I know?
Love it. Rounding it out here. Oh, here's the other running back that was available, Cam Akers. But this is literally just like a one week. He might even play. So
Yeah.
Joe Mixon might just get in there. So I don't know. Might be an overpay as well. Juwan Jennings, $7 to Rob. Some defenses here. Rob picked up the Vegas defense. for $5. They're playing the Panthers this week. Green Bay Packers defense, $7 Joe. I already forgot who they're playing. Cincinnati Bengals defense, $2 a Joe. Chase McLaughlin, Tampa Bay, $2 a Joe. And then I picked up the Buccaneers defense for $2. Pretty excited. The Denver Broncos.
And the Packers have the Titans. So
okay, so that all makes sense.
Yeah.
Stocking up though. Does that mean he has 3 defenses? Let me look at his team real quick. Go ahead though.
Yeah, I mean he picked up 2, so he has at least 2. I like the Jennings pickup. Obviously, there's a bunch of targets there going now. I think I think Kittle and Ayuk are obviously gonna see a higher uptick in targets, but I think Jennings will be a solid pickup. He's probably the one I like best, and then obviously just streaming defenses is the way to go.
Pretty normal stuff. Only 2 defenses for Joe. Makes sense. Yeah. I knew prepping for a future game. I love it. But
yeah. The Bengals, I know in the next 3 weeks they have the Giants.
They do have the Giants, yeah,
and Carolina. So yeah, he's just grabbing them before.
Little moves by Joe the 3 times. I love to see it. You love to see it. All right, let's get out of this segment and try. Let's go to the Parlay Minute. Let's throw that in there. Talk a little gambling. We'll be right back. All right, we're back here for the Parlay Minute. I got 2 for you, Ryan. Let's start on the right with a Thursday night. I should have put that one first, but Aaron Rodgers has not thrown for over 200 yards in a long time. Now, of course, it can happen in this game against New England, but New England's secondary is pretty good, and I'm going to go under 212. I like Ramondre Stevenson over 65.5 rushing. I like Breece Hall over 65.5 rushing. Garrett Wilson to have 5 receptions. Didn't take any yardage on this, and then the game to be under 43.5. What are your thoughts on this? 10 to win 150.
Yep, really good odds. I like the under 43. It's the Patriots can't throw the ball. And
no.
Their goal is to shorten the games as much as possible. They're going to run. And the Jets O-line just, or the offense as a whole just seemed out of sync.
Yeah.
So I like that. I think the one that could cost you, the one I'd be most worried about, I guess, would be the Garrett Wilson one, just because
maybe go down on receptions or pick somebody else.
Well, it's just it's weird because Garrett Wilson's so talented. You can just tell. But
week 1 was like 6, and then last week was 4.
So yeah, it's definitely in play. Him and Rodgers just don't seem to be clicking. But it's good odds though.
Would you prefer a Lazard, maybe 3 receptions?
No. I don't even need to know what the number is.
It's an absolute no. You know, I got.
Because the reason I'm really against or worried about the Garrett Wilson number more than anything is because since the Patriots can't score, in my opinion, and can't keep up, and since if the Jets just get up 17 early, like, are they just running it? Are they like not even gonna be throwing it? Like, is this like a weird, like, Rodgers only has like 16 attempts kind of game? Okay. But I don't. Thursdays are weird. Thursday night games are always weird.
I don't mind dropping it. I think that's still pretty good odds. I mean, maybe it's 10 to win 100 with those 4, and I'm down for less legs. I know Piani's been shaming us for over. He's like, what, 7 legs? That's it. So.
You know what? My parlays haven't been hitting the first 2 weeks, but my straight bets have been much better. Mainly because I just kept live betting the Bears against the Titans.
No, that's smart. That's I think that's like the move. And then sometimes you get boosts for that. But anyways, I have the 3 o'clock games, which we have 5 this week, which is so much better than 3. I took the Cardinals +3 against Detroit. So they just have to cover by a field goal. The Las Vegas Raiders to beat the Panthers. The Seattle Seahawks to beat the Dolphins. The Baltimore Ravens to beat the Cowboys. That one's a little sketch. But and then San Francisco to win by 7.5 against the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yeah. Do you feel less confident in the Raiders pick now that Bryce Young is benched?
No, I mean, I still think they're going to win. But I'll tell you this: I feel less confident that I changed my pick'em.
I'll say in the survivor pool.
The survivor pool, shout it out.
Yeah, pre Bryce being benched, I had the Raiders, and I no longer have the Raiders.
Me too.
We've
doing pretty well.
Yeah. We've had the same thing. You know what? You know what? I don't care. I'll say, looking at this parlay you have here, I think we might have the same survivor pick again.
Okay. Fair enough. The Baltimore Ravens are 0-2, so I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah, obviously their O-line's been really bad, so there's always a chance Parsons just takes over. But Dallas looked so bad last week that.
Yeah, Zimmer said it won't happen again.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he said the same thing in Minnesota. How'd that work out for him?
I love it. All right, do you want to try your luck and who we play for?
Oh, born ready for it.
All right, we're back here for another episode of Who He Play For. Your guy, Braylon Allen, you know where he plays. And these are all guys who scored a touchdown, by the way.
Yeah, rookie. Yeah, he scored 2 last week. Rookie for the New York Football Jets.
Yes, sir. Congratulations.
Is he on the Dynasty team? I don't know.
I don't think, is he? He might be.
I don't know.
How about, and I looked this up, Andre Yoshivas, wide receiver, scored a touchdown last week.
He scored 2, didn't he?
He scored 2. Yes, you're right. I should have just chose guys that scored 2 touchdowns. I don't think there's a tight end who did that.
Yeah, I was, if T. Higgins isn't going to play, there's touchdowns out there. He plays for the Bengals.
Yes, he does. Congratulations. 2 for 2. Can you finish it out here with Elijah Higgins? Tight end. Scored a touchdown.
That's a tough one. I don't think most people know he plays for the Arizona Cardinals, so I'm going to have to think about this for a second.
I could have put players from like the 70s or the 80s. I think you still would have hit it. Champ. You are undefeated, I think, all time.
Well, when your entire roster's injured, you're looking at the depths of players.
I love it. All right, let's get out of here and predict the future. All right, we're back here predicting week 3. Just to throw it out there, I'm doing awful on predictions this year, as you would expect, Ryan. I was 2 for 7 last week. Tony was 4 for 7. Shout him out.
Mm-hmm.
But I am playing Rob this week, 0-2 versus 1-1. Rob is slightly favored to beat me. Kenneth Walker's oblique. I'm not 100% if he's going to play. Or Mixon.
Yeah.
He has Charbonnet. It's fine.
Yeah. So, I mean, Seattle running back in that spot. I actually think Walker will play, and I actually think that might benefit you. Maybe they'll split carries. Mixon, I don't know. In the moment, it felt like he was going to be out a couple weeks just when the tackle happened. But if I had to guess, I'd say he probably misses a week. But I wouldn't be shocked if he's out there.
Understandable. I think Ferguson's back this week for me too. I like my side. I'm never going to go against myself. I need a win. I cannot start 0-3. I'm going to take me, get a victory here. What say you?
Rob couldn't beat a team that was severely crippled last week. As you know, I am very anti the NFL projected points. I don't know how to get it. I don't see Richardson putting up 17 against that Bears defense. And
absolutely not.
Yeah, so I guess I'd be worried about, even though Ferguson's back, is he really going to do anything? But then at the end of the day, you're facing Dallas Goedert, so it doesn't matter. So I'll go you.
Might be a push there. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. All right, let's move forward.
See, isn't this good? I think I've officially moved past the beef with second take.
I appreciate it. We are showing a little more love.
Yeah, I think it's more pity than love, but take it, I guess.
Man, I love this name. Jesus Christ, that's basic for Dave is playing the same line as Hawk Field Boys, Danny. Dave also 0-2. Just looking at this at first glance, I just can't see a person like Dave starting 0-3. Don't even need to look at the players. I'm going to take Dave here, but we can definitely highlight some people. Jordan Mason, 13 is not enough for what they script for him, in a game. I think he's going to outscore that. I like Danny's running backs as a whole better than Dave's, but
I mean, Swift hasn't been good. Granted, I don't think Najee's been that good. So I think
it's kind of a push.
Yeah, and I just, like you said with the Mason 13, I just don't think Brian Robinson's 5 points better than Mason at this point. And then, I mean, CD could always go off. DJ Moore's been struggling. Like I said, I think Adams had his best game last week. I'd lean Godwin over Jameson Williams, but overall, I'm going to go with Uncle Dave.
Yeah, I think Dave's got this. And it will finish, by my estimation, looking at the screen here, Joe Burrow and Gesicki versus Tyler Bass. So Dave's going to be up probably a lot, and then I'm going to project Bass for 10, which will probably be enough. He might score as many points as Joe Burrow. Who knows?
I haven't ran my kicker projections yet, but when they do, I'll listen to the group chat.
All right, moving forward, Joe is playing Matt. Matt only projected 99 points after that outing last week. Kind of shocked to see that. I guess because there's no Brown, but Brown didn't play last week either. A little shocked by these projections.
Yeah, I mean, the Lamar one's good. Kamara's probably going to beat that. It's Wick's at the flex. I'm not sure if that's who I'd go with.
Maybe Warren.
Yeah, I'd personally probably go Warren.
I think I've been shouting Warren to the screen for Matt to start for 3 weeks now. If it ain't now, when is it? I don't know. Maybe a bye week.
Yeah. I mean, he had a bad week 1, so it's more of I just don't think the Packers are going to be throwing at all. I mean, they told you last week they do not want to throw the ball. Eckler, I think, is kind of fool's gold. He's going to eventually slow down. I know he had a good week last week. Chase just hasn't been on the same page as Burrow. I'm not entirely sure what's going on.
Money,
Well, and they just always start slow.
Zach never gets his guys ready. Never. Zach Taylor never gets his guys ready.
Yeah.
He's worse than Flus.
Oh, yeah.
Getting guys ready.
At least Flus is his job's defense.
Yeah.
When he gets he's done that. It's just they can't freaking seem to get the offensive coordinator right. Their life depended on it. I'm going Matt. I'm always going to pick Matt.
Yes. Co-owner.
Had some unspeakable adventures together. So
I'm going to take Danger too. Big fan. 3-0 for Danger to start the year. What a way to start. I'm excited for him. Mike, T-shirt Mike, is playing the champ. Oh, this one's pretty close in the projections. Allen's back, right? Monday night, Allen, Jacksonville. I think that 20 is realistic.
Yep, it's on the table.
Concrete Connor, love that nickname.
James Conner is just freaking timeless, man. He's
timeless.
He's been awesome the first 2 weeks. I think Jameson Williams, not good. I'm not sure why. I think it's going to be sooner than later. Where
Denver's going to go with somebody else. Yeah.
Yeah, probably a combo of Estime, the rookie, and McLaughlin as like the pass catching back.
It's not his guy, right? It's not Sean.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, he had the ACL injury a couple years ago, and he just hasn't come back from it since. I mean, obviously, Hill with Tua out, it's a risk. Pitt, I mean, same thing with Richardson. Really, like we've seen the last couple weeks, if he doesn't hit that bomb play, which I don't even think it's likely that bomb's not going to Pittman. It's probably going to go to Pierce or Downs when he gets back.
Yeah, or even Mitchell.
Yeah, I mean, I think we just saw last year Pittman was much better with a Garner Minshew type who's gonna keep the throws over the middle.
Short and intermediate guy.
Yeah, like Garner Minshew's job is to go like 20 for 26, where Anthony Richardson in those same 26 attempts is probably going to hit 10 to 15 of them. Like,
Yeah.
it's just his skill set just doesn't align with Richardson's, in my opinion.
I got
Same
two.
route.
Yep.
And then on the outside, we saw last year with Fields and DJ Moore, like Fields isn't afraid to
No.
zoom in on that number one target, especially if like there's just a gap between the one and everyone else. And I think that's what's happening with Pickens. So I'm gonna go with Mike here.
I'm anti-Pickens. I kind of love this Quentin Johnson start, just to kind of throw it in Mike's face. And I expect, a little something on Sunday will be exchanged over this start because he's just been talked down against. And I'm sure in Tony's locker room, the champ's locker room, he's preaching this and saying this is the time that is now. And I'm gonna project over 15 for Quentin Johnston. I think he's gonna get that end. So I might bet an anytime touchdown. I might do it. Who knows? And then my last thing for Big Mike though in his favor, Zamir White. If it's not now against the Carolina Panthers, when is it? When are we gonna see it?
Yeah, White's looked bad.
Oh my God.
He's another guy who I think might not be the starting running back in a couple weeks. But I'll tell you what, if you're gonna bet Quentin Johnson anytime, just send the $15 to me. I'll place the bet for you.
I was gonna put 5 on it. I was only gonna put 5 on it. All right, I'm gonna take the champ. I'm gonna take the champ against Big Mike. Josh Jacobs is gonna play. I think this is gonna be a fun one. This will be a fun matchup. All right, Primo is playing Piani. Piani coming off a big week. Primo coming off an L. Looking at the lineups, man, likely getting the start again, huh? Doesn't want to let the fruit. Doesn't want to let. I would start Hunter Henry, right?
Who
spent $40 likely. You just spent $40.
Yeah. Well, I think even when Likely had that big game, like everyone was freaking out about Andrews. I personally wasn't. I think I saw after week 1, he still had the third most routes run than any tight end that week. They were like double teaming him the entire game
all the time, and he's a little rusty too. Remember, he had the injury.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think Likely's going to be on the waiver wire sooner than later. But that being said, the New England game is going to be so low scoring that I would personally play Hunter over him, but I'm not too worried. I am worried about Travis Kelce though.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking. They literally are keeping him in the garage. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and then overall, Kyler and Marvin Harrison might just be able, like we saw last week, like they can just win you a week, that combo, the South. And Detroit has not been playing well so far the first 2 weeks. I think Piani keeps it going. Ooh, you're thinking about it.
I'm gonna take Primo. I'm gonna take him.
I'm not picking Primo just out of spite because he should not have beat me week 1.
I love it. All right, let's move forward here. 2 left. Fortunately, I can't feature you as game of the week. If you're at full strength, I think it might have been for sure.
Yeah, you know what? I wouldn't feature me. I don't know why I'm here right now.
I respect the lineup. I think you got a shot. But I'm gonna go on the right side here. Laporta's got to have a day here. He really does. I think this is his get right game against Arizona. I can see him putting over 10 or 12. Dicker's a really good kicker. So is Fairburn. I don't know. Is this going to come? This will come down to Monday night, obviously.
Yeah, it's real bad news for me if it doesn't. Listen, I'm telling you all right now. I'm still making the playoffs.
Yes.
I'm winning this week.
Oh.
Taysom Hill will not be my starting tight end. We're figuring that. That's some internal discussions still being figured out at this moment. But I'm winning this week. I should be 3-0, and I'm still winning the championship.
I love it. I love the confidence. Injuries can't keep you down. No. Absolutely not. Our game of the week, though, a divisional matchup. Divisions. I know it's only week 3, but I think this one's going to matter. Nate is playing Xavier. I believe Piani and Nate won the divisional last year, but I think Xavier was in that mix. And I think Nate edged him. So Anyways, this is a new year. These two teams are projected to score a lot of points. Caleb versus Kirk. I think it's closer than it looks. I like the running backs on the right better than the left. I don't like Deontay Johnson, but with the red rifle, maybe he shows up. I'm leaning right with Xavier. Where are you going?
I'm worried. If Jefferson, I think it sounds like Jefferson's gonna play.
Yes.
Play.
Quad bruise, I think I read.
Yeah, I think that's what it ended up
Addison,
being.
I'm hearing, is not.
Yeah. And then, but overall, I don't think Ridley's gonna do anything. Sadly, I don't think Caleb's gonna have that good of a game.
The line doesn't stand up. Yep.
Yeah. And then if Dobbins comes back down to earth, I think it's gonna be a big Andrews bounce back game.
Okay.
So,
You rolling Nate?
I'm gonna go Nate, despite his terrible opinions on the IR position. You know what? He runs a good survivor pool, so you know.
Yes, he does. What is it, like 5%?
Yeah, I think it's down to 5.
It's week 3. I'm like, this is crazy. Would you, if there was 2 left, would you split? Would you look into that, or is that just frowned upon? Because I really throwing them out there. I think I would offer it at least.
I don't. Who's the other 4 left? I know it's you, me, Piani, or it's you, me, Piani,
Danny, and I think one unknown. Remember, Danny took the
test.
Oh,
Danny test.
Yeah. I was like, what are you doing?
I wouldn't split with an unknown. I would split with any of the 3 of you.
I feel the same. I feel the same way. All right. Let's bounce out of this segment and go to the second take hotline. All right, as we come to an end of the episode here, Ryan, we got you for a quick interview to close it out. What a shocker this year, you being first overall in the draft. You could see my reaction to the video. If it doesn't speak to how many years you've been at the end of the draft, I think it's every year. I think you had one. Did you have 1 year where you were like 7 or 8? I think.
Yeah, I think my first year I was around there, something like that.
And then from there, it's been 10 through 14. So obviously, you no hesitation went up there and slammed the pick. When I think all of us would have took McCaffrey. I'm saying that I would have took him for sure. I don't blame you. I wish we would have had more news or complete honesty out of the San Francisco camp. But anyways, what was your reaction?
I wasn't expecting it. There was 5% of me that thought about taking Breece Hall, but I did this. I did the logical thing and just took Christian McCaffrey, and man, what a 10 minutes that was.
I'm telling you. Yeah, I thought you had a great draft, honestly. I was fortunate your first 3 picks, but drafting one is not easy, right? It's very hard. Waiting, I think it was 20. Is it 20? I don't do the math. 28 picks. I think it's 28 picks for your next one.
Well, let's see. There's
14
other teams. They all pick in twice.
27.
So 26. There's 26 picks.
26 picks.
Yeah,
that's a long time.
I'm a numbers guy. I don't mind it for the most part. Obviously, when you're at either end, there's just going to be certain guys you won't get. Like if you're 1, there's no chance you're going to get freaking just let's Puka or Kyron.
Yeah.
Where if you're on 12, you got no shot at Breece Hall or McCaffrey. So there's pros, there's cons. I think you can actually line up your team a little better at the edges. But yeah, I don't know what you personally, if I could have had any pick, I wanted 4.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted 3 or 4. I wanted Bijan, Hall, or McCaffrey. That was kind of my strategy of if you were in the top 6, that's kind of what I wanted to do. And then if you were in the back half, I was probably just going wide receiver.
Yeah, I love that. And I think for you personally, I think you feed well off of who you draft around. I think you're a very good strategy drafter, so you could kind of pick out the team you're drafting next to. Whereas some of the other GMs are kind of like pick it and forget it. Like they have their guys. You're more of water. Sure, you have some favorites, but I think you can. I think if somebody somebody drafted somebody crazy right next to you, it wouldn't phase you at all, you know?
Yeah, unless I just don't like drafting next to Xavier.
Yeah, me either. One of the worst. Him, Mikey, I'm like, get out of here. I don't want to be near you. I dropped next to Xavier this year, and it was brutal. Absolutely hated it.
And it was nice that Piani was on the other side too, so I was just able to kind of. We weren't worried about each other stealing our guys, basically. So
Piani came running. Every time I made a pick, he was right behind me. It was Xavier and Piani next to me. I'm like, this is awful. Awful. But anyways, we've already spoken on it during the episode, but step one in salvaging your season, trading away McCaffrey. Can we expect any more moves? Let's say, I mean, you're very confident this week. Let's say you lose the next two or one out. You win 1 out of 3. Is there another move that we could see?
I mean, I'm always up for discussions. I'm not gonna. I needed to sell low on one of the 3 of them, and I took. Like I said earlier, I think JSN was the best asset I was offered for either Debo, Cup, or McCaffrey. Wow! So I had to just pick one. So I'm listening. I don't foresee it currently based on the offers I was getting. I think as we get closer to Cup's return, maybe people will start offering a little more. But I think in an ideal world, JSN performs the level that I think he's going to. Debo comes back and is killing it, and Dell starts performing like he was last year. And then when Debo and Cup come back, I can flip a receiver for a running back.
Easily. I mean, Cup was looking like a first round pick, you know.
Cup, yeah, I mean, Cup was going to be a top 3 receiver.
It was just health, right? That was always the concern. That's why he fell to 3rd.
Once Puka went down, I was like, Cup's top 3, and I should have traded him after week 1, I guess.
Well, hindsight 2020.
Yeah.
All right, moving forward. What are your thoughts on the move to Cody Rhodes as Universal Champion? Are you loving it? I'm a big Cody Rhodes fan myself.
It was time to get the title off Roman. I'm very against, I'd say, the popular belief of how I think a majority of the Bloodline storyline, people look back at rose-colored glasses. I think most of it was actually pretty bad.
Very bad.
Listen. When Cody got fired from WWE years ago, I said he's going to be great. He's much better than he was being used. He deserved that moment. It's been awesome. I think I personally haven't thought his title reign's been that great, but again, it's just because I'm not a big Solo Sikoa guy.
I know he hasn't had a good villain to. I mean, that was a fun match. The Hell in the Cell. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it's just like I just don't think he's really had a story to sink his teeth into, and I think you can clearly see they haven't had a long-term plan just because so I think he has the match with Styles right out of the gate, which is the perfect first opponent for him because it's just going to be an awesome match. And then they're kind of I guess we'll do Styles again.
I know.
They didn't know what to do with them. So yeah, I think it probably hasn't been as good as people would have hoped, but he deserved it. I mean, it was the Mania was awesome.
Mania was great.
Was fantastic.
Night of Bear. I do like to throw the one up sometimes. I do like to acknowledge. Yeah. But an underrated star I really love is LA Knight. Let me talk to you. I'm a big fan.
Let me talk to you. Yeah.
Let me talk to you. That's a guy I really vibe with. I think he's a good contender. I'm a huge Seth freaking Rollins fan personally, and I was very upset with the move to Gunther. Gunther doesn't really. You like Gunther? He doesn't really move the needle for me.
Yeah, I mean, I think Gunther's great.
I think he's an awesome wrestler. No doubt.
Yeah, I think he's underrated on the mic because I think what happens a lot of times with heels is they become too beloved, and it's well, you're not really heels at that point. And where Gunther is actually really good at twisting the needle into people. Like you saw it with his promos with Priest. You've seen it in just the small things, like Bret Hart hates Goldberg because Goldberg injured him and basically ended his career. So like when they're in Canada, he just goes like, "Oh, my favorite wrestler is Goldberg." So obviously everyone, like, I think I really like Gunther. Rollins, I think, is the best in-ring worker in WWE.
Yeah,
He's probably top 5 in the world. There's a few dudes in AEW I put ahead of him, but yeah, I love Rollins. LA Knight, it was time to get the belt off Logan Paul. He wasn't doing anything with it.
That was just to get the younger crowd. I get it. You got to get the youth in there to like. Yeah, I understand the move for that, but yeah.
And then
what about Jey Uso? You a big fan? I like main event Jey. You don't like main event Jey?
Listen, like Uso's good when he can actually just be a real person, but like basically from Mania on, like all he would do is say yeet. Like they didn't let him. Like his promo on Monday this week was awesome.
Yeah,
but like that's the first real promo he's done in about 8 months. And I'm not a Jey Uso guy. I don't see it. His match with Jimmy was terrible at Mania.
Kind of played out with that too. I'm like, all right, you guys have done this way too many times.
Yeah, and well, they're clearly treading water until they're gonna hit. The Usos are gonna come back together, and
I thought for sure, like this last episode, I was like, what is he gonna get Jey to come help him or something? Like, is that what Roman's gonna do? But no, it was just a whole game. Like, of course they're gonna have Roman and fight, together.
I'm surprised by that move. It seemed like a thing they hadn't really planned out because, like, you have. I'm not sure why. It seems very forced to have Cody and Roman team, especially when you have Jimmy ready to come back.
That's where I thought they were going at first.
Yeah, I think that's where everyone thought they were going. So I'm kind of ready for Cody to be done with the bloodline, but unfortunately, I don't think that's happening anytime soon. I think it's probably going to be Cody Rock at Mania, is my guess.
That would make sense. That'd make a lot of sense. Beats another one.
Well, yeah, and then you can do Roman Rock the following year.
Yeah. No, I get it. I love it. You would take a job, right? You would write for WWE.
Oh, absolutely. I made it.
Make a killing. I see you already have some ideas. Last question for you. Any words for Mikey this week?
Mikey, is that who I'm playing? I don't even know. I've been a little preoccupied with other things. I haven't really been able to focus on my match. Listen, Mikey, the most dangerous person you can face is the man who has nothing to lose. And listen, I have nothing to lose. What, you gonna injure more of my players? No. He's trapped in here with me. I'm not trapped in here with him. And so, listen, like, if he wins, congratulations. You beat a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. But if you lose to a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, ooh. Yeah, it's scary. Like that might be like means to blow the team up. If you take that type of or you might look at your players a little differently. But that could derail a season. I completely agree with you. This is a I'm sure Mikey's looking ahead. You know what I mean? Looking at which is a big mistake because you're right. You're so right. I'm telling you, I'm still gonna make the playoffs. And those 4 teams that finished below me, you should all feel ashamed of yourselves that you allowed this to happen. I love it. Well, another great episode in the book. Always a pleasure having you, Ryan. We'll wrap it up here for Second Take, Week 3, baby.